Mojang actually did it. As of Minecraft version 26.2, we're gonna have an official vanilla friend list inside of Minecraft Java Edition and the ability to host a single player Minecraft world and easily invite your friends to it so they can join. A revolutionary step for the game. For most multiplayer games, adding a system like this is a no-brainer, but Minecraft Java Edition specifically has gone 16 years without it. But that is about to change. Today, I want to have a look at the world host feature in a bit more detail though. Because how does it actually work? And will this mark the end of the era of dominance of big mods like the Essential mod, which until this point has been the go-to option if you want to host a single player world for your friends? Do make sure to sub, by the way, I would appreciate it. Now, the reason I want to look into this a bit more is because on the snapshot article page, 26.2 snapshot 7, I'll leave a link to this article in the description down below if you want to check it out for yourself. They mention this world hosting feature, but they specifically describe it as a peer-to-peer connection. I want to make clear, by the way, I'm not an expert when it comes to networking. I understand the basics of it, but not every single detail. I'm gonna try to explain stuff in the most simple way possible, so I may not be using the correct terms everywhere, but if I do make a mistake along the way, do feel free to point them out in the comments down below. So what is a peer-to-peer connection? Well, when it comes to Minecraft, it means that if I would be hosting this world on my own PC, with peer-to-peer, someone would connect directly to it. It is basically a connection without a server sitting in between. So if using Mojang's new system, I would be hosting this world on my own PC, with a peer-to-peer connection, other players that want to join this world would directly connect to my system and my server. It would all work without one of Mojang's or Microsoft's servers sitting in between. A direct connection, peer-to-peer. But that immediately raises a few questions, mostly when it comes to compatibility, because only a little while back we saw another game with a system like this. Yes, Hytale. You remember? When inside of Hytale you join a single player world, you also have the option to play online. And this play online system also uses peer-to-peer, which means that for this to work correctly, there are some network requirements. The whole system relies on UPnP and direct connections. And if your router does not support UPnP, this peer-to-peer system from Hytale will not work. Now you may wonder, what is UPnP? Well, UPnP stands for Universal Plug and Play, and it is a networking protocol that, in the most simple terms explained possible, allows applications inside of your network to open up ports inside of your router for you. So usually if you're running a server on your own PC and you want people from outside of your network to join that server, you would have to port forward. But that means logging into your router and opening up a port there. Lots of people don't know how to do this, or they find it very complicated, and UPnP basically solves this problem by allowing applications, like for example Hytale, to open up a port for your router as soon as it needs it. That way, when you click on Play Online in Hytale, Hytale will communicate with your router, open up a port it requires, which then allows other players to join your hosted world directly. No middleman sitting in between. But because that system relies on UPnP, it also means that if your router does not support UPnP, the whole system will not work. Now in the big 2026, there are actually a bunch of routers that do not support UPnP. And even if they support it, on a lot of routers it is disabled by default. My router included. By default, it's off. But that does mean that when Mojang here says they use a peer-to-peer system, it sounds like they have the same system as Hytale, where the whole thing relies on UPnP, and if it's not enabled in your router, or it doesn't support it, then the whole system will fail. Which means that for about 10 or 20% of players, this built-in system will still not work, because their router may not support UPnP whatsoever. But actually, Mojang thought of this, because when we scroll further down, we get to see some details about the peer-to-peer connection system. And here, Mojang states that they're using the ICE system, with numerous types of network paths, like local, direct, and relay. Now you may wonder, what does that mean? Well, the ICE system, which stands for Interactive Connectivity Establishment, will always try its best to find the quote-unquote easiest way to connect two players together. So if you and your friends are both on the same home network and you invite your friend to join your world, then it will simply use your home network to connect you two together. So that would be a local connection. If you're both not on the same home network, but the router of the person who is hosting the world does support UPnP, then Minecraft, the application, will simply open up a port on your router so the other player can connect to your server directly. This is the direct connection. But if your router does not support UPnP and you're also both not on the same network, then the game is gonna switch to the relay option. And what is relay? That is tunneling. So if both a local and a direct connection are not an option, Minecraft will switch to tunneling. Now, in case you don't know what tunneling is, it is basically what the Essential mod advertises themselves with. It is a connection method that you can use if a direct connection is not possible, and instead of two players connecting directly, there will be a middleman in between. A server from Essential, or in this case, a server from Microsoft. Now, before making this video, I thought that the Essential mod was only using this relay method, so only tunneling. But apparently, from what I could find online, it appears so that the Essential mod is using this exact same ICE method as Mojang is now gonna implement in-game. So if that's true, that would mean that the Essential mod and the new vanilla built-in world host both provide the same reliability. Well, I mean, to be fair, Mojang's relay happens through Microsoft's servers, and we all know how great those are. But overall, it should be just as reliable. And is it then still peer-to-peer? Well, I mean, kind of. The world is still being hosted on your own system, so to some extent, yes, it is still peer-to-peer, but the relay option is definitely less peer-to-peer. It is tunneling. The world is hosted locally, yes, but the connection is still tunneled and routed through one of Microsoft's servers. So Mojang calling it just peer-to-peer doesn't really do it justice. It is not just a simple system that relies on UPnP. It is very versatile, and depending on what is possible, it will choose a different connection path. So what does this all mean? It basically means that you're gonna be able to join your friend's world no matter if your router allows UPnP or not. It will essentially just always work, which does mean that for any future version of Minecraft, anything 26.2 and forward, mods like Essential are basically gonna be obsolete. Yes, the Essential mod has a chat function, and you don't have that in regular Minecraft, and the Essential mod still has a bunch of cosmetics, something which Java Edition doesn't. So if you really like those, I guess there's still a reason to use it. But if you were using the Essential mod just to host your single player worlds so your friends can join, Minecraft can soon do that too. And by the looks of it, with the same consistency as the Essential mod. Now, I did receive another question in the comments of my latest video, which was also about this update. And there somebody asked, what about mods? Is this also gonna support mods? Well, it's hard to say without trying, but they probably will. Just like with the Essential mod, which you can add to any mod pack that you have, and you can then invite friends over. This will likely also work with this new vanilla mechanic. So as soon as Fabric is out for 26.2 and you will use this vanilla friend system, if you both just have the same mods installed, I don't see there being an issue. But I guess time will tell. Anyway, I just wanted to yap about all of this for a bit. Thank you so much for watching. Do make sure to sub to the channel, join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members, and then I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, see you later, bye bye.